Hey guys, it's Brandon, aka Be Rich Beauty, aka your beauty best friend. Happy Monday, y'all! It's reality with me and Jerry McShann. You know what to do. Grab your beverage. Let's go. Jeremy.
Brandon, what's going on with you today?
Jeremy, I feel like today I pulled a Jeremy McShann move. Hey y'all. All right, so let's just talk real quick. Let's just jump right into it, right? Real quick. This has been the busiest and craziest of Mondays. First of all, beauty besties, it's 5 o'clock, not 5:30, like we normally would go live. And that's because I had to pull it up by 30 minutes because I have to run to do an errand at 6:15 this evening because I go out of town tomorrow for the rest of the week. In addition to that, I didn't even think I was going to be able to make it today, Jeremy.
And I thought you was going to do a Wendy Williams on us, and I'm so happy that you are actually here today.
Jeremy was about to be my lifeline today. He was about to have to fly solo and guest host today.
About to have Hey Rich, your beautiful best friend, live.
Don't do that. Don't do that. By God's grace and mercy, I made it today. I will just be real. Beauty besties. It's been one of them. It's been one of them days. Yes. But I just have not been able to watch in completion Potomac and Love and Marriage Huntsville. So I said to Jeremy, I said, friend, my J Rich over there, I'm gonna need for you to kind of take control of this ship today. Hey, mommy Mel. Mom says hi, Jeremy.
Hi, Mom. How are you?
Hey. I said, Jeremy, I need you to take charge of the ship today, sugar. And so Jeremy is gonna really lead the conversation today, but don't get it twisted. I watch these episodes. Jeremy, you ready to jump right into it?
Let's do it. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now, we talked about Real Housewives. You said, well, what am I drinking over here? You know, I really, you know what? I have strength today. I was going to have courage when I thought I was going to be doing this by myself. But, you know, now I'm here with you. I have my strength and I am good to go. So,
you have a mug that says courage?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I need to sell my mugs. This will be my new merchandise.
Listen, I mean, these aren't for sale just yet, but you know, I love a good branding moment, darling.
I love it. Well, anyways, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, we talk with Andy picks up. And, you know, I'm actually really glad that he's doing these little segments with Erica instead of doing a whole episode dedicated because it is a lot. And it'd been too much for her. And it's just like, all right, hard stuff. All right, let's do some other stuff. Come back to you. Let's do some other stuff. It's a bit much. So, you know, they're talking and, you know, she's talking about like what's going on with the Tom situation. And he basically asked her, why didn't she leave?
Right.
And she's like, well, where am I going to go? And he was like, well, honey, I know how much you make on the show. We know that it's $600K. And she said she gave all her checks to Tom and everything was handled through the law firm. So you think that's a way?
No. You buy that?
No, because listen, one of these people asked a question that I had never really took time to think of, though. Like, how did she move into a house, get a whole new car, and doing glam, doing all of this if she didn't have no money? And she said she can't answer that.
But answer it, right? Exactly.
But now, why?
Here's the thing, Jeremy, right? Do I believe she may have had Tom manage her money? Yes. Do I believe that she had absolutely zero access to her money? Yeah. Because here, and you know why I say that? just humor me really quickly. I have 32 cents in a mobile gas card, but I promise you, if you give me a room, I will pay you back.
Come on, Anime.
Right? She didn't have access to her money to be able to get a hotel room.
Well, listen, she did not have access, but that was Tina Turner. However, this is Erica Jane, whatever you want to call her. Listen, Tina wasn't able to go have dinners by herself, do these trips, do all of that stuff. Ike was there.
Now, Ike was there.
And it's very well documented as well, too, the abuse that Tina suffered from people witnessing this. Nobody has witnessed any of this stuff that Erica is saying but herself. And the picture that she's painted as well, too. But the fact that she wants us to believe now that she's given all her money to Tom, that he handled it, which now she's basically saying he also mishandled her money as well, too. And now saying that she can't, why can't she tell us that? There's nothing legal against her telling us.
Well, here's the thing, and I only speak Law and Order, SVU, criminal intent, and organized crime. I will tell you this, though. I feel like because she's in the midst of the divorce, she can't necessarily say where her money came from. Because here's the thing. She may have given her money to Tom, but she may have had like a rainy day stash on the side. And if she says, I use my rainy day stash, now it might be taken in consideration of them trying to go after that in order to try to recoup costs for the victims.
Well, listen, we're here living deceit even more while we don't mess with you because you continue to live in deceit. Now, I mean, it is what it is. Like, she doesn't want to tell us because if people find out she got that money stashed away, they coming after it for
exactly. You can't put all your cards on the deck. Now, granted, I've never been through a divorce, but I'm just saying she already has misappropriated $25 million allegedly, and then she's saying that Tom took her money allegedly and that he was managing it. I can't give you everything. I can't give you all of my chips in this moment on national television where there's an active divorce that's happening. And if she's being smart, she has to keep some things to herself, because guess what I would do once all this thing becomes final? Hello, New York Times bestseller, knock on the door. I'm coming with the tell-all book. So she can't give you everything all at once.
Yeah, the movie. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but Sutton forensic accounting team don't find it, okay?
Listen, Sutton, that forensic accounting has taught me something in life. Side note, if you ever enter a marriage, keep a good forensic detective on file, okay? Hey, innocent spectator.
Oh,
talking about Erica's shady ass. Now, speaking of shady, go ahead, Jeremy.
I just want to say, innocent girl, I'm so glad that you got the memo and the notice that we're here at 5. Because the whole time I'm thinking, I'm like, I can't. You like our third co-host. Because I'm like, how am I have this conversation without innocent spectator?
I love the loyalty of my beauty besties. I love my beauty besties out here. It's the loyalty for me.
It is, right? And so, I mean, this whole thing is a mess.
Now, here's the thing. That slow to respond and whether she was faithful to Tom was a complete ma'am, you might as well just say no, because that delay, that pause, that was more than just a dramatic pause. To me, that was almost like an admission of guilt. When he said, were you faithful to Tom throughout the marriage? It was like.
But then even her answer was like, not while I was living in the house.
After, right. Sis, you're not gonna have to tell me this man is 80-something years old.
Yeah, talking you down like you need to, my man.
What you just say, Jeremy?
That's for about 30 minutes. Oh, we're gonna be out of time now. 5 minutes. Then it's condescending. Put it on mute.
Listen, she knew she wasn't giving her something she can feel was exactly what Tom was not doing. Okay.
Gosh, yeah. I know. I never expected her, thought that she was just being faithful and in that department. I just figured they had some kind of arrangement that she could go out and get what she needed in that department as long as she stays faithful and true to the situation. And so that's what I always assumed to begin with.
Y'all kids are very modern these days with these open relationships, all modern and stuff.
Y'all children are, okay? Yes. And so, I would have loved to be a fly on the wall during the prep with her lawyers, Erica, for this. Because some moments she looked like if she would cuss Andy the F out for asking some of these questions. Because you can tell she's caught off guard about a bit, because she's just like, she mentions if she got a divorce, she'd be on for half of the liability. And he was like, but you didn't know about the liability before until just now, or did you? And then she was just like, that definitely cost
yeah, it was very much one of those things. I agree. And I think we see foreshadow for next week's episode that he's about to turn up the fire on her for some of these questions, and I can't wait to hear the answers he's going to get out of her because of that. And to your point, I
thought so. She had also was talking about the story she told about Tom and finding him. But then what I thought was really weird was that she said she took a picture of the brakes and sent it to her friend.
Who's a lawyer, right?
She said he was an orthopedic surgeon or something.
Oh, yeah.
Then I was really even more confused about, A, why did she take a picture of the brakes? And B, I don't even know what the brakes look like. So how does she know do you know what the brakes looks like if you lift up your hood?
I don't even know how to put windshield wiper fluid in my car. You want me to know I think they're under the car.
That's what I'm thinking too. So how she even knew where that was, and why did she take a picture and send it to her friend?
Was she trying to insinuate that somebody cut Tom's brakes and was trying to kill him to recoup this money from these victims? Allegedly.
Allegedly, right? And yeah, I don't understand that. But I was like, wait, I was too confused. And so,
hold on. I'm tired of talking about Erica Jane. Yes. Hey, Amanda Thomas,
what's up? Hey,
Jeremy, there's nothing on the screen. You're trying to lean in. You still don't have your eyeglasses, Jeremy. You know you can't see.
I'm not leaning in, sweetie. It says, "Hey, beauty bestie." Hey, Jeremy, caught y'all live.
Oh, so now you can see today?
Okay, I'm on my computer today, so I can see. I went on my little phone. Okay, I'm like,
you came prepared because you thought you was going to have to co-host alone today.
I needed to
host by yourself.
Really see, right? And so, I can see the comments on the side and everything today. Yes, Mom, I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Mom says
she's talking about me. She's talking about me not knowing how to put windshield wiper fluid.
Oh, okay, good.
I don't know why she's tripping. I call my stepdad for those questions. Anyways, I'm like, should the car be making this noise?
No, innocent spectator said I can see.
I like you on your computer today, Jeremy.
Yes, I'm about to. I started off on the computer. I did a little switch to the phone. I'm coming back to the computer.
You feel prepared today? Let's go. What else you got for me?
Real quick, before we move to the next show, is Kathy and Cal. That was such a touching moment, and really. It just kind of boiled down to Kathy being really overly emotional about her mom, which she may have need to go to see therapy because they're the only person that didn't go see therapy this week on our shows.
Everybody went to therapy this week.
Everybody.
Jeremy?
What's today? The appointment is sometime this week. So not this week, but it's coming up this week. I'll be there too. But they were just talking about all the time that went by and why they stopped talking to one another. And it really just boiled down to Kathy's feelings about her mom and what her mom would think and see and stuff. And it was really sad because Cal, Kim have been through some serious stuff that's really made, really built Beverly Hills because of authentic family drama. And to see Kathy in this mix and her crying uncontrollably, it was just so heartbreaking. But then part of it, go ahead.
I was going to say what made it really touching is because in life, you can go through your ups and downs with your family, especially your siblings. But at the end of the day, and what I thought Kathy said was was important was she said, it was a waste of time, not talking to each other, because time is relative, right? Time does not stand still for any of us. We all have one life to live. And it's important that no matter what, and let's also put things into perspective. Unless somebody murdered, raped, stole, or just pillaged through your life, there's nothing that we should not be able to talk through and work through to come back together as a family. And so the fact that they've been 10 years apart and Kathy can now appreciate, we were probably in different mental space. There's a level of emotional intelligence that was not there versus now. And now thinking back on it, it was a waste of time. And let's build and move forward. And I think this is a really great example of, her starting. We saw Kathy every now and then as a friend of the show, and now just random appearances. and this year she's like official friend of the show, and we see that she's building the bridge and the bond with her sister. And I think it's such a lesson to families where people have gone through things, you know?
Yeah. 100%. I agree with that. And I think most of her tears were really because, probably her kicking herself. Like, why was I this petty? Like at the end of the day, Cal was also trying to honor her mom and they wanted to do it in different ways. And, the situation unfortunately just needed to come out because I don't think Kim would have gotten the help or sought after help she needed had this probably not come out. So, I mean, in a way, it could kind of work, but that was mostly Beverly Hills.
It was. I think it's gonna warm itself up next. You know how they do when they have these mini parts of the reunion. The first episode gets you hooked in right out the gate. Yep. Second and third is a little quiet, and they finish with a bang. So I'm assuming that we're gonna feel a little bit more like that punch for episode 3, and definitely like that bang for episode 4.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to go over to Huntsville?
Let's go on over to Huntsville, the sweet home Alabama, where the skies are blue. And really?
Is that a thing? Is that a thing?
Y'all know? Do y'all know what the lyrics to that song is? Let us know in the chat.
You talking about the sweet home Alabama? You talking about that one?
No, she got little notes up in you. Okay.
My mom is talented, Handy.
She okay. You didn't inherit a couple of notes from mama. Okay.
Everything was in. But what that anyway, sorry. I'm like, is that the notes or are you just making that up? But okay, cool.
Okay. So
this was yes, what?
No, I'm listening. I was just excited.
I like this little therapist in Huntsville that everybody goes to because he reads the kids, he gets the kids together.
But he's giving the kids the truth.
And he got Tisha together. And he says, what is your identity outside of this marriage and outside of being Marceau's wife? But what I thought was the get you gotcha was the fact that he said, is he fearful of you not depending on him? Because if you leave, he'll be by himself. Or why do you depend on him, right? Is he depending on you for anything? And she couldn't really answer it outside of the physical needs of, being sexual partners. I was just like, wow.
That was such incredible insight with seeing like why he tries so hard to make her stay at home, not do all of this, because he's afraid of loss and losing. So he wants to make it to the point where she cannot leave or to be extremely difficult for her to leave. And so that she'll always be there. And that is something that's not her issue. It's something that he needs to seek. And unfortunately, he won't go to therapy to seek about it. So it's going to be an ongoing issue.
He doesn't want to fix it. He wants to stay toxic and broken, which is crazy. Like, are we just that so caught up into, to me, that's toxic behavior. That's toxic masculinity. That's like, why do you not want to get help? Your wife is saying, I'm here to help you. You need to get help. And I get it. People have to seek help when it's right for them. But like, you're really just okay with sitting in this mess?
Yeah, I don't think that he realizes and is understanding that that's what he's doing. A lot of times we're in these situations, people find themselves in these relationship issues in situations where, right, blah, 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 it's trying to be all professional sounding, and I sort of just be like, last time we find ourselves in these issues.
Relationships, yep. Listen, I'm good. I'm here for a good relationship. Go ahead, Jeremy.
These issues because people are not aware of their own trauma and baggage that they are carrying. And when they are just moving through life, it's normal to them. But a lot of times a partner will be a mirror to you and sometimes reflect back the things in your life that you need to fix. And that's what's happening here. And he doesn't probably even realize that this is the reason why he is so adamant on her being like dependent upon him. That's why he's like, I got to build this. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to be the head, because he's afraid of loss. And if he knew that, some parts of their relationship would be so different.
Yeah, completely. I think, what I predict is that we're going to see an unraveling of this relationship over the course of the season and next year. I think their relationship is actually, and I want them to be successful, but the rate that this looks like is I see a decline in their relationship that's about to happen rapidly. because it looks like to me that Tisha's doing the work.
Yeah.
And you only continue to do the work by yourself for so long before you're like, I got bop up out of here. Okay.
Okay. When you wake up and realize, like, I can't, like, two people have to be doing the work, and the way Marceau is moving and he don't want to move, like, it is what it is there.
Ooh, let's go. Jerome. Is it Jerome?
Jerome.
Oh, look at that. How innovative. Oh, Black society has normalized therapy is not good and for crazy folks. Sad he won't even try therapy to just see the outcome. I agree.
Yeah. I
agree. Can I just say I'm obsessed with my clear lip balm? I feel like my lips are so
no, it's not. They are popping. They are really popping.
Anyway, I agree. And like, so here's a question for everybody that's watching. How do we normalize this? How do we fix it? How do we continue? How do we begin the healing? What does Marceau need to do? What do you guys think Marceau needs to do here? And while you guys are layering in on what you think Marceau needs to do, can we talk about this whole 1 year anniversary reunion between Tiffany and Louis at the stadium, child, and the explosion between Martell and Melody, as per usual?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm tired of seeing this. Like, I want them not to be in group settings anymore.
They can't.
We got to do something, or they don't need to talk to each other. It's uncomfortable to watch. It's very serious. Neither one of them wants to be the bigger person. They all feel like, I got to say my piece. I got to defend my piece. And both of y'all need to be quiet, go get your own healing, and then come back. Because even when they were talking to the kids earlier, and the kids were like, we don't want to see step parents. And then the one girl was like, oh, we saw daddy.
Are you in the elevator?
Like, says, are you doing recognizance with the girl with you? That's crazy. It's too crazy.
But so speaking of that, because I thought that might have actually been one of the most mature moments I've seen with those two on screen in a very long time. And it's because the kids were present. So they had to be mindful of how they show their asses on camera. But it was one of the things that when Mel brought up that she really feels like, at some point he needs to introduce the kids to their new sibling. And she's like, and I feel like I need to be present there. And he's like, well, I don't think you need to be present there. So here's the question. Does Mel need to be there, or does she not need to be there?
She 100% needs to be there. Anytime you are letting your kids know about something that's life-changing to them, and especially from another side, both parents need to have a united front in order for the kids to be able to fully accept it.
Yes. And I initially thought the same thing, but I also thought, like, maybe this is his moment to have the kids by himself to say, like, this is your new sibling. And then when they get home, they're like, mommy, she could do her job in the house and say, but that's your new brother, that's your new sister. We love them. Think about, my brother that we see, or your auntie, this person, because like she said, she didn't meet her sibling until she was 18.
Yeah, that
was a Rolling Stone too, sugar.
Right. I mean, that's true, but sometimes too, when you get that information and you may be like, they may not be receptive to it because they're like, oh, I don't want to be choosing. I want to also be supportive of mommy, so I'm not going to receive it well, right? Because it could be me receiving this new sibling. It's me not, supporting my mom as well too. But if my mom is there with me while this information is being shared and I see her being okay with it, then I can be okay with it as well.
I can understand that. I mean, here's the thing. I think Mel should be there, but I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here because somebody got to play the opposition or the defense or one of them terms. I don't speak sports. Right. You know what I mean?
All right. Now, the best part of this whole situation was the Tisha and the Kimmy thing. And this is the one time where I am Team Tisha. And
okay, tell me why.
I am Team Tisha in this situation for two huge reasons, right? She sent this message, a group chat message, innocently enough. Kimmy had a problem with it, right? Never once communicated it to her. She seemed to me genuinely shocked when Kimmy said that, right? And people are talking to Kimmy like, you should have communicated this. Like, if you had this issue for whatever reason. And so that's the one thing I had. The second thing I have is when she was saying, look, You don't call me ever. I'm always the one reaching out to you. And if we're supposed to be friends, sister-in-laws, whatever we're supposed to be, that's not fair. And I agree with that 100%. One day, I just decided that I was not going. I just didn't call nobody. I said, whoever calls, texts, messages me, I will keep a relationship with. Anybody else, I'm not talking to. And from there, there's people I haven't talked to until they reach out to me. And there's people I haven't talked to in years now because of that.
So you just woke up one morning. I'm sorry, we're gonna come back to Love and Marriage Huntsville. So you just woke up one morning and was like, you know what, Jeremy? I ain't reaching out to nobody today. And the folks that reach out to me is the people I'm gonna keep in my life for forever.
I did. I felt like I was just giving so much of myself. And I was just like, you know what? I don't mind being a 75% reacher out, because reaching out is a skill that not everybody has, right? But also, it needs to be a two-way streak, right? I can give 75, I can maybe even give 80, but you're gonna need to give something, right? The only time we commune should not be when I contact you.
And I understand it now that you added some benchmarks to that, but you didn't give us no benchmarks. You was just like, wow, this is how it happened, and I haven't spoken to people in years. And I was like, wow, Jeremy, that was a little extreme. But now that you've added
sometimes people are like, well, why you don't talk to me no more? No, you don't talk to me because I didn't reach out to you, and you didn't reach out to me.
Listen, Jerome says Tisha waited years to communicate to her about the reach out situation. Why did she wait that long?
Sometimes you don't realize it. In my situation, I woke up and I just realized, wow, I'm just giving so much to people. And what are people really giving back to me? I want to realize that. And during her therapy journey, she's becoming more aware of a lot of different stuff.
Well, we also know that here's what I think we've noticed and have learned by watching this franchise is Tisha has basically said to us, she's had to learn to find her voice, especially her speaking voice, because she realized like she had a little bit of like a speech impediment. Her grammar is not always the best. I mean, come on, let's look at Wanda J. Blige. If that heifer can't even conjugate a verb correctly. So when you think about all of that, like, I think she probably played the back seat and held a lot of her thoughts and opinions into herself because she was not so self-assured in her voice and in her communication style. And I think because she's gone to college, got a few degrees, worked with a speech therapist, all these things, she's now finding her voice. It's unfortunate because I agree. Like, you don't get to sit on this for 5 years and then all of a sudden one day one thing triggers you and now you're attacking me and you feel some kind of way like I don't love you.
Well, I mean, I think you just realize like, hey, this is our situation. And I see this comment saying that I feel like that needs to be communicated at the beginning of a relationship, but I don't necessarily agree with that. A relationship means two-way street, right? It doesn't mean I'm doing something for you. It's a given that if I give to you, you give back to me. It's an exchange. That's what brings us together.
Communicate that at the start of the friendship relationship. Be clear about what you need and require from the friendship at the beginning. Yes, Jerome, and no, right? So I agree with Jeremy in a sense, because as you're developing and cultivating a relationship, a friendship, you then begin to understand and learn people's communication styles and learning styles and how people like to be communicated. Some of that you're able to determine because of the interaction. Some of that you have to be able to say like, hey, I struggle with this. Call me out, hold me to the fire. Like, some things you're able to communicate, some things you're not. And because if you're cultivating, those are the things you pick up on. So I don't know if I would necessarily say like out the gate, I'm gonna be like, so Jeremy, I know we've been friends for 2 months. I need you to know that I communicate about 50% and my communication style is X, Y, and Z. Right. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't feel organic.
It doesn't. So Brandon, question for you. So if the only time you talk to me is if you reached out to me or if you invited me somewhere, that's the only time we hung out. And that's the only time we ever talked, communicated, did anything. What would you think about that? Even if we had a good time, we have a great time together. It's fun. But literally, if you never called me, we wouldn't hang out.
So I kind of struggle with that. So not really, but I've had situations where I'm just like, I've learned to categorize friends. I have friends that are good for going out.
Yeah.
I have friends that are like, good for my soul. I have friends that, is more well-rounded for different parts of my life. Yeah. And there's some of those going out friends, I know if I want to go and shake a tail feather and have a good cocktail, I can call Jeremy and Jeremy's going to show up. And I would talk to Jeremy the next time I'm ready to go shake a tail feather again. Right. Sometimes relationships work like that. And not everybody holds the same weight in terms of relationship in your life. Everybody has a different way.
I agree. But I do think where I say friend, like, yeah, I agree with that. I have those people too. It's like, hey, you want to go turn up? I'm just to hit you up. You my turn up friend. So that's all I need from you is to go out, have a good old time, and see you in a couple of Fridays.
Yeah, I want to stand up. I want to stand on a few people's couches in a section with a bottle in my hand, smoking hookah. Absolutely.
Right.
I just got so
friend. I need a little bit more from you, and that's what that is.
Reciprocity is the key to any relationship. I agree. I do. So yes. So I think, to wrap up like that whole Tisha Kimmy situation, I think this is clearly another example of, the breakdowns in the relationship that they're trying to work through, because a part of it also kind of lays on Tisha's shoulders. We know Kimmy is a communicator. We know that Kimmy knows how to express herself, and she does it very eloquently. I think Tisha is now a late bloomer in life as it relates to this.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And, I don't even know if we have time to even dig into Potomac at all.
We got to talk about Potomac. Come on, let's jump into it.
Really fast. So, trying to see what Karen sends out her invitations with
butterflies.
Damn butterflies with that. Whole damn butterflies. It was a nice idea, but I don't understand how the butterflies was supposed to breathe.
Oh, there was holes poked into the side of the boxes. You didn't notice that? I think the butterflies were dead too, child, but there were holes poked inside the box.
And someone flew out and died away. And I'm like, oh my God, it was a nice thing. But, one of the interesting things was we've been talking about teaching her motherhood journey, and we see Gizelle in her motherhood journey as well, too, talking with her kids about relationships and that they need to be more vulnerable, which leads her kids to say, hey, well, you're not vulnerable or emotional at all. And we've not been able to learn from you at all because we don't see that in you or dad. And it really took Gizelle aback a little bit. And, she was shocked to hear this information.
Well, first of all, those kids, I live for the kids.
All the time.
If we were to get rid of Gizelle and keep the kids, I would be okay with it, because them kids keep it 100. And that's what I love about children, child. They keep it real. But I agree. I mean, here's the thing. What we know for sure is the daddy can get people pregnant and have side mistresses, allegedly,
right?
But can't keep a whole relationship. So what example really are you setting for the children? And I love that they held Gizelle to the fire, and they spoke balance between the deficits that they see in their mother and in their father.
For sure. And then so that triggered her to go to see a therapist. And the therapist asked her, right, therapy week on reality. But the therapist was like, well, why did you even go back to him? And so she was just like, well, I felt like he was starting to show me a little bit more respect and all of that. But she was like, in this, we were seeing each other, but when the pandemic happened and we weren't seeing each other, I just realized I didn't want to be accountable to anybody. And the therapist was like, well, that's what relationships are about, holding one another accountable to one another and answering to one another. And he said, because of this, what do you think you're teaching your daughters about what a relationship is through that? And that was another wake up call for her as well, too. And so, I mean, I do think you could see her really impacted by it, that she needed to cry but wouldn't allow herself to cry. And he was like, let it go and have a genuine moment, because when you let your guards down, it's so beautiful, and you're so beautiful. And I agree with that. Like, when we think about first season Gizelle, even though she was a little messy, she was a lot more kinder. She was showing a more authentic self, and I did like her going on. And it's just like she has this wall up where we can't see her, and all she gives out is nastiness, and it makes her nasty.
Because hurt people. Gizelle's not fully healed from her debauchery of a relationship.
Oh my! I'm sorry. I was laughing at innocent spectator. You got to put it on the screen for the people to see it. I think we're gonna find out, Gizelle.
Robin makes sense that these green-eyed babies. What?
Robin she'd be more emotionally invested in stuff that happened to Gizelle than she do with Juan.
Let me tell you something. When I saw Juan this episode, I was like, well, look at Juan.
Right. Yes.
All right, Jeremy, that's our time for today.
Yes, oh my God, this was great. This was
I
great.
love y'all. I love y'all, guys. I thank you for riding out and doing this 30 minutes earlier. I am on such a crazy time crunch today. Jeremy, thank you so very much for being so gracious as always.
Y'all.
Guys, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel if you like this video if you like, and leave me a comment. Most importantly, check the notifications and make sure they are turned on. Yes, yes, yes. Who loves you? I do. Jeremy loves you too.
Sometimes.
And on that note, we'll see you next week for Reality TV.
Bye.
Talk to you later. Bye, guys.